evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is Tuesday night, and after a week off, it's time to go racing once again. Tonight, we go to the cornfields in Iowa as the drivers prepare to do battle for a $300+ purse here tonight. Good evening, folks. Hope everybody's having a great day and a great week. Despite a week off last week, things are still heated up from a couple of weeks ago. A lot to talk about, so let's just get the party started right away. And talk to Michael DiCarlo. Michael, you got your first turn top 10 at Phoenix in epic style there.
Thanks on that, Doug. I mean, realistically, you understand that a blind squirrel once in a while does find a nut, right?
This is definitely the case.
I suspect that it is. I really, really do. However, the yellows fell just right for the Navy Joe coffee, number 17, and we were able to take advantage of it. And yes, we had our best finish of our XCAL career. Thank you.
That was an awesome night, and obviously the car looked very fast, was able to stay out of trouble, and it seems like you've had the speed. You just keep getting caught up in everybody's trouble. If you can keep that car clean with some Navy Joe in it, you might be able to put it to victory lane.
Yeah, with these Flaming Karma setups, man, I'm really picked up. I'm hitting my optimum in every track. Gets it better by at least half second almost.
Well, man, it was great to see you up there 2 weeks ago at Phoenix, and it's great to see you out here tonight looking for another strong performance, buddy.
All right, thanks very much. I'd like to thank XCAL, Racing.com, web shop. Everybody go there and shop. They got a bunch of new stuff on the web shop there, and NavyJoe.coffee. It is the nectar of King Neptune. I have no submarine trivia.
Man, great job. Good luck tonight, buddy.
Thank you very much, Doug. Good luck, everyone.
Michael DiCarlo, and if you're a follower here at How to Suck at iRacing, you get 10% off at NavyJoe.com by using the code NavyJoe to pick up some a little bit of a discount. And I promise, once you go Navy Joe, you'll never go back. And now we've got Jeff Edgar, and Jeff, I have to say, it appears over the 2 weeks off, everybody has a new nickname in Discord.
Yeah, we like to have a little bit of fun.
Obviously so, man. A great season so far for you.
Yeah, it's been up and down, man. I mean, last race was rough. I mean, we got cockroaches out there holding everybody up, blocking all kinds of shit going on.
And my understanding is you have some new gear in the XCAL web shop.
Yeah. We got this nice, big, bright, beautiful Crybaby blanket made just for Crybaby Seams. That'd be Jason Seams in that puke orange number 88 out there.
Well, that is definitely interesting. There are some interesting new things in the XCAL web shop, but that one, I'm going to have to go back and look at that one. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we're actually going to make Jason buy one of those after he gets his ass kicked by me tonight here.
Well, that'll be something to see, and I hope if we get pictures of it, we will definitely share it.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to get you some pictures.
Well, man, good luck tonight. Like you said, it's been an up and down season, but primarily it has been up this season for you, and hopefully that trend continues.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and the guys have been working hard, Steve and Brett and everybody over there in the camp, working hard on these setups, trying to get it just right. I want to thank them, thank the web shop and all that new stuff out there. I mean, even if you're a Seams fan, they got some crap for you over there too. Butt kicker, admin box, Sim Hub, I think. You over there at How to Suck at iRacing. Good stuff.
Well, man, good luck tonight. Congratulations. You're also leading the team points as of now.
Oh, yeah. I told you last time we would be. You didn't believe me?
Oh, I believed you the way you
usually don't say it unless it's true.
I know it, man. Great job and good luck tonight, buddy.
Thanks, bud. You too.
Sean Andrews back in the field. And Sean, you had a 11th place finish at Phoenix. You're starting in third tonight, but man, this season, we know how fast you can go, but you have zero luck. Have you started putting Lucky Charms on the rig yet?
No, not yet. I just keep chopping wood, and eventually stuff will roll our way.
It's definitely
getting a good
been a
start
wild
is a
one.
good help. So yeah, it has been a wild one. I've been a little sidetracked with some health issues, but overall, we'll get there.
Well, man, I know you're fast enough. We've seen you in victory lane a bunch of times, and I know that before long, you and that J&S team's going to be back up front.
That's the plan.
How are you feeling about the race here at Iowa tonight, qualifying in third?
I feel pretty good. Car's been fast in practice and in the heat races, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, man,
This year's setups are more friendly to me, so that's why I've been able to pick up a lot more speed. So,
well, man, good luck tonight. Hopefully we see the technical difficulties and the bad luck go away here tonight.
I hope so too, man. I'd like to say thanks to Flaming Karma Paints, Admin Box, Butt Kicker, Tri-E Cooler Crew, the XCAL Web Shop, Joe and Danielle at J&S, and you, How to Suck at iRacing, and my mom and my wife,
All
because they
right.
watch every race.
Well, good luck, and hi to mom and wife, and hopefully we see you back up front tonight.
All right, thank you.
Frank Klein was apparently not a happy camper after Phoenix. Frank, it seems like you walked out of Phoenix a little bit angry. Have you calmed down yet?
Doug, to be honest, it's all relative, right? I mean, we go out there, we're a new team, we don't have any respect from anybody. Granted, we haven't deserved it yet. But the way that we were raced up front last week, that's going to be a hard one to forget, bud.
I can imagine it did get bumpy, especially late in the race. I know you talked about having to earn some respect out there, but how bumpy do you get at a track like Iowa? Do you take the chance to move somebody, or are you going to be just trying to make a clean and make a point?
I tell you what, I'm going to race the way I'm raced. So, it is what it is. They want to ruffle up. My wife's whole family's from Iowa. This is my backyard. So they wanna play games. They're gonna end up in a cornfield.
Well, man, good luck tonight. It is being a new team owner. It's an uphill climb, but you've done a great job so far, and best of luck tonight, buddy.
I'd like to say thanks to you, Doug, and Rustler's Roost, Holland Southern Tier Tire, Nova Glass, ZFG, Zeems Property Services, Nine Shiza, TTI Light Industrial, and basically all of the league sponsors. Thank you so much, except for Flaming Karma. Yeah.
All right,
That's
buddy.
all I'll say about that.
All right, buddy. Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
And finally, a quick word with J-Dog Seams. And J-Dog, there was some smack talk there earlier, buddy.
Yeah, he got me last week. It was a rough week, a lot of crashes, and man, the car, it is what it is. Hopefully I get this right off the hood real quick.
Yeah, you do have that new logo on the hood, and I find that extremely funny, but are you going to be getting a new towel this week, too?
Yeah, that's what he thinks. Not if I have anything to say about it. We got the bet. Whoever loses got to get one, so I don't plan on having it.
Well, go hop in the car, buddy. Good luck.
All right, I appreciate it. I don't have time for everybody, but just like to thank everybody and thank everybody watching and all the sponsors. Have a good night.
Jason Seams gets ready to load up as we go to the grid. Jared Mogart and King Matthew the Bear on the front row. Sean Andrews, Jimmy Johnson have the second row. Octavio Rondoletto, Ken Zeems on the third row. Jason Seams and Joe Campbell on the fourth row. Frank Klein and Flying Ryan round out the top 10. Stephen Rex, Michael DiCarlo starting 11th and 12th. Alex Crapser in 13th, Jeff Edgar in 14th, Brent Meckes in 15th, Lataro in 16th. Kevin Reed making his XCAL debut tonight in 17th, Jose Godino in 18th, John Friley starts 19th, and Clayton Wise in 20th. Brandon Yates in 21st, Kyle McRecken Martin in 22nd, and that nickname came out last night. Steven Seams starts in 23rd, and Johnny Evans 24th. Cristiano Roca rounds out the 25-car field at Iowa tonight. Good evening to everybody in the comments. Good evening, Jared Easley cheering on Flaming Karma. Good evening, Kevin A. Good point, Kevin. Hey, good evening, Danny. Good evening to Tanya Gleason, Laura Seams, Star Lee, Clayton Wise, Aaron Hillebush, Gerald Thanos Poole, Martin and Earl Seams, and everybody in the comments. Make sure you drop it in. Let us know who you're cheering for here tonight. Out of turn 2, one more time around, the iRacing pace truck will hit pit road on the back, or out of turn 4. Aaron Hillebush up in the flag stand. Yeah, Jared, it is great to see Kevin Reed in the car, but I'm wondering why nobody gave me a heads up on that. Pace truck is in. Jared Mogard leads them down. Green flag is in the air. They're down and away at Iowa. We'll take them a lap or so to get these cars up to the max speed. Some of the drivers during the heat races yesterday talked about this is almost the way this track races. The speed you carry around here, it's gonna feel like plate racing at certain points here tonight. Jared Mogard completes lap 1 with the lead. King Matthew the Bear currently holding on to second place. Jimmy Johnson in third. And it looks like Sean Andrews may have had a problem a moment ago as Ken Zeems sets the fastest lap, making moves toward the front. Sean down on the bottom. Pushes up, coming out of turn 2. Gets loose, making sure he stays off the car above, but spins it down to the inside wall. Sean Andrews' bad luck streak continues. Hey, good evening, Cody Kennedy. Danny Sargent, as always, cheering on the J&S Racing Aces here tonight. Hope everybody out there watching is having a great night, a great week, a lot of great racing to come here tonight and the remainder of the week. Joe Campbell on the move here, down to the bottom, just took 5th place. Sliding by Octavio Rondoletto and Frank Klein, J-Dog Seams in 8th, Ryan in 9th, Stephen Rex currently running in 10th. And Jason Seams was riding the wall through 1 and 2 and somehow making that really high line work here. Michael DiCarlo and Brent Meckes have also come to pit road. DiCarlo has damage. See if we can see what happened here. Jose Godino. Oh! Godino gets into Meckes. Meckes goes up the track and gets DiCarlo. Both drivers taking significant damage. DiCarlo gets down below the line to get out of the racing groove. After DiCarlo's first top 10 last week for the Navy Joe Coffee team, man, that is a bit of a heartbreak, having a rough start here tonight. Star lead cheering on Flying Ryan, who's already up 3 spots, following the boss, Joe Campbell. Both drivers on the move, Joe in 6th, Flying Ryan in 7th. Kyle McRacken Martin now up 11 spots into 11th. And if you were here last night and watched the Jones BS Racing event, controversial finish to that late model race. If you missed it, just go to our YouTube, look at the 2 races from last night, look at that late model race, and go to the last few laps of it. We will have the shorts on YouTube hopefully tomorrow from last night's race. Man, a controversial finish for McRacken. Johnny Evans also on the attack. Johnny now up 13 spots into 11. Cristiano Rocca starting to pick his way through the field, up 8 spots. Following teammates Jose Godino and Lataro Lamperti. Jared Mogard continues to lead the field here for the J&S Racing Aces, followed by Ken Zeems. Zeems now looks to the bottom. He wants to take the lead. Gets a little bit of a push through 1 and 2, has to back out of it. One thing we have seen the J&S team handle very well this season, they get a driver up to the front. The driver leads for long periods of time, but when their teammates get there, they let their teammates by it, let them get those bonus points. Uh-oh, Mogart starts to blink. And his Jared Mogart's teammates, Joe Campbell, Flying Ryan, both closing in. Sean Andrews, Brent Meckes, Michael DiCarlo into pit road very early here tonight. Johnny Evans, who started in 24th, just cracked into the top 10. Kyle McRacken Martin not far behind in 11th. Stephen Rex currently in 12th. Jeff Edgar in 13th. Alex Crapser back in the car tonight in 14th. Alex Crafts are in the cards tonight for the Busted at the Seams team. evening, Jeff Hinkle. Bonnie Billings also in here cheering on Flying Ryan. Tonight, one debut, Kevin Reed of BRR fame. Kevin currently riding along in 19th place, still within striking distance. Keep an eye on this car. He will make his way forward late in the run. Although, if we hear from Gerald Poole tonight, I'm going to be having words. He did not inform me that Kevin would be in the car tonight. Ken Zeems on the attack again, trying to take the lead from Mogard. I wonder when Gerald Poole will get Jeff Hinkle in one of these cars. Zeems still trying to make the attack on the bottom, has been unable to complete the pass so far, but out of turn 4. At the line, it is still Mogard. Frank Klein has marched his way up to 3rd place and is now in the battle for the lead. Trying to help push his driver, Ken Zeems, to the lead, and Zeems is going to get it at the line. Zeems leads for the first time tonight. Mogard in 2nd, Frank Klein in 3rd now. That whole top 10 stacked up tight. The drivers did have a rough race at Phoenix 2 weeks ago, the week off. You'd think they would have calmed down a little bit, but from some of the pre-race interviews, it does not sound like it. And it does sound like that Nine Shiza Motorsports team is not happy with the Flaming Karma team. That could make things interesting. And it looks like Gerald Poole is getting ready to come join us in the booth. Gerald, what prep did you do for tonight?
With 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey.
Well, I'll tell you, a couple of beers and talk to the guys, man.
Obvious. Oh, as we've got a car in the wall going a lap down, that was Brandon Yates. Man, some harsh words in the pre-race out of Frank Klein tonight. Or I'm sorry, I gotta remember which one it was. But some harsh words for the Flaming Karma Racing coming into tonight.
You know, everybody's got an opinion. They're kind of like armpits.
This is definitely true. A lot of fast cars out here tonight. I know we talked about a little bit about fuel strategy. We're actually coming up on the window. We're going to start seeing fuel stops. Brent Mekas is back out on track now after extensive repairs, but we are almost in that first fuel window.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people were conserving a bit there at the start. I'm sure part of it was probably just trying to be safe. I'm going to be curious to see how some of this works out, because there's a couple of strategies afoot. It kind of depends on your gear and the speed that you wanted to carry. So I actually, at this point, I'm kind of believing there's some people that can pull off 40 laps.
Well, that is definitely going to be interesting. I think one of those names that could do it is one of the drivers for you tonight. Surprised to see Kevin Reed. You finally got him in a car.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for for a couple, 3 or 4 weeks, and the opportunity came around. It looks like a place he can run pretty well for his first XCAL experience. Just get out there and do what you can do after that. So. But he seems to be solid, likes the setup, and he's got some speed with it. Like I said, we're just getting into that first part of the strategy phase, so we'll see how this works out as we get this first round of pit stops out of the way.
It's definitely going to play out to be an interesting night here as well. Obviously, normally after a race like Phoenix, having a week off, tempers have cooled, but as we heard before the race, I think some of those tempers may have gotten worse. Some of the drivers do not sound like they're going to be very friendly out there tonight.
Well, no, I mean it's racing. People get a burr in their boxers and forget to go change them to get over it. So if it gets too terrible, you may see me in the number 9 car. Maybe straighten some of that out.
Well, it definitely could be interesting, and quite a field here tonight. 25 drivers started, still 2 on pit road. Already some problems, but because this track is so wide, the problems have not brought a caution out yet. So they've actually been able to keep the track clean and green, but man, it could get very interesting very, very quickly here.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more speed than we're seeing right now out of some of the cars. I think it's a little bit more focus on that, what they can do for that setup for that last fuel run. But, pit stops can be a little bit tricky here. And like I said, a yellow flag could really change the fuel strategy a whole bunch.
Definitely could. Seeing multiple lines being run, but right now it looks like that high line is the way to go because Mogard has been able to keep leading laps. Frank Klein has not scored leading a lap yet. He has been really close, and we're talking hundreds, if not thousands of a second at the line. This might be the time, but Mogard has the momentum out of the high line. Seeing some drivers down low, some drivers up high, even through turn 2. And turn 2, as you and I both know, has that big bump up there.
Yeah, you got to be careful. The other thing of running that high line is, because it has it's this longer line around the track, so it has some effect on your fuel mileage. So it'll also loosen your car up if you try to get to the inside.
That is the case, and I know historically just about any car you bring here out of turn 4 on cold tires, it's getting loose, and you're fighting it. Did not see a bunch of cars getting loose here early on. Has that been a problem for the drivers yet?
I've had a couple drivers comment that it takes a couple, 3 laps to get the heat in the tires and a little bit of pressure build up in them to get good grip. So, you never know. You maybe see somebody coming out of the pits and feeling like a fresh baby foal and wanting to stretch them legs a little too hard and stumble around.
It's amazing how often we do that. Looks like DeCarlo is coming back off of pit road as Frank Klein is finally going to get to lead a lap here. And, yeah, we have yet to see anybody begin green flag stops. And we talked about anywhere from 35 to somebody said they could do 50 to 52 laps on fuel. But you and I talked about it. That seems like a stretch.
Yeah, I'm starting to hear people call to go into the pits now, so I think we're starting to hit the front side of that window.
Jose Godino, Steven Seams, Clayton Wise, Jared Mogard, all on pit road. Cristiano Roca, John Friley, and Kevin Reed in. Really surprised to see Kevin in this first group. He is known for being able to conserve fuel pretty well.
Yeah, we played with the gear a little bit in the warm-up session. We made it a tad bit shorter, and those guys weren't really trying to save fuel early on, so we'll see how all this thing walks around.
Well, as we hit lap 40, we're going to see more and more as Sean Andrews is back out on track. Should start seeing some more cars. Looks like Frank Klein is going to give up the lead and come in. There is a slew of cars coming in, and through 3 and 4, there was a few close calls there as they tried to get down onto the apron.
Yeah, like I said, you're going to see some of these new tire guys a little bit quicker, but a little bit slippier, and some guys with worn tires, I think, are worried a little bit more about fuel at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing, like I said, it works out. There's some guys out there known for getting really good fuel mileage, so we may be able to see some guys make a little bit more than 40.
Yeah, speaking of, King Matthew the Bear out front after Jimmy Johnson hits pit road. He is known for conserving, and he has stayed in the draft so far all night. That could be a huge factor here tonight, but, it's, man, racing here in Iowa is just unpredictable, and there is, of course, the one thing you have to worry about. Green flag stops. Every single race I've ever broadcast at Iowa, I have seen one driver miss pit road and go to that part of the Legends track on the outside of the pit road wall. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's if you're making an aggressive shot down the inner pit road, it's real easy to kind of lose track of yourself or lose traction enough that you can't quite cut it inside. And yeah, if the choice is staying on the track or hitting the end of the wall, you probably stay out and just lose the time.
Pit stop cycling through. Stephen Rex, Alex Krabser, Kyle Martin, Jimmy Johnson, Jason Seam, Flying Ryan, all of pit road. Ken Zeems, Johnny Evans, Jared Mogart, all back out. Matt Bear, Octavio Rondoletto, and Lataro stretching it. Matt Bear is in, Octavio is in, Lataro is in. No surprise to see those three drivers be the last ones to pit road.
Yeah, that's a pretty good fuel run right there. So, but I still think that their gear's probably a little shorter, and they're intending to save fuel to get ahead on that, to try to save themselves on that last pit stop. Maybe even eliminate it if they can run enough.
Well, speaking of fresh tires having a lot of speed, Johnny Evans just set the fastest lap of the race we have seen so far. But as the sun goes down, this track will cool down as well. Haven't checked the track temperatures yet, but the current track temperature is 67 degrees. This track does fluctuate quite a bit as the race goes on, so I suspect before too terribly much longer, as it gets dark, the track's going to cool off even more, and lap times are going to get faster.
Yeah, and the fuel consumption will go up. Like I said, I think the track started at 65, so it's raised a couple of degrees with the cars on it, I believe. But yeah, as it gets darker, it's going to cool down, and it'll heat these engines up, and you'll see some faster times and a little bit more fuel being burned. So probably best to save now before it gets too dark.
That is probably true. Hey, good evening, Jadad. And Ken Zeems has gone back to the lead. King Matthew the Bear came out of pit road in first, but Zeems and Evans have slipped by. Jared Mogard now in fourth. McRecken now up into fifth. Joe Campbell in sixth. Octavio seventh. Stephen Rex in eighth. Jeff Edgar in ninth. Lataro in 10th at the moment. Looking through, looks like Kyle Martin, one of the bigger movers, up 17 spots, but Johnny Evans started in 24th. He charged through the field early and is now up into second place.
This is I think this is the type of track with the speed that we're carrying. It's newer to XCAL, and we don't run it very often. You know, we might it might be surprising to see how the night ends up and continue to go green.
It would not surprise me to see the race go green here. We've seen it in a lot of leagues where once the field starts to spread out a little bit, they settle into a rhythm, and the only problem you run into is lap traffic. Other than that, you're just cruising along, doing what you can to save the car, save the tires, and see where you come out. It may come down to a strategy race towards the end.
Oh yeah, and I was just kind of browsing through the field here, and I see that did Alex have to go back in for another pit stop?
Looks like he did. Trying to see what happened here. Alex is back out. He has been into pit road 2 times. And I have to wonder if he got a penalty or if had his settings wrong for the pit stop. You know, it's easy to make a mistake on the pit stops here.
Yeah, because I noticed Frank Klein's back a lap down.
Clayton Wise, Steven Seams, Frank Klein. Klein lost a lot of ground. Looks like he got a speeding penalty on pit road. Yeah, indeed he did. He got a speeding penalty. So gone from leading back to 20th. He has got a long fight ahead to get back up there. Had a lot of speed charged forward early, so I think anything's possible here tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean those speeding in the pits, those are the worst kind of penalties to get. So yeah, that's a tough deal.
Well, we're at lap 51. We'll take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll go side by side. You won't miss a thing. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, just as things begin to heat up out front. We will be next week. We will be back and we'll be flat tracking at Milwaukee. Also, make sure you go to the XCAL Racing web shop, xcalracing.com. A lot of new gear out there and a lot more new gear on the way. A lot of new t-shirts, including some team t-shirts. Coming soon. I did hear busting at the seams, and rumor has it FKR, JNS, a bunch of these teams are about to start having team t-shirts instead of just individual driver shirts.
Oh yeah, they planning been going on for a while. Kind of hard to get together, but yeah, everything's finally coming together on that. So yeah, go to the web shop and definitely check out the gear that's there.
And there is a new item. I'm just gonna say, go look for the snail item, the snail mucin item. I'm not even gonna ask questions. I saw it and that's like the Austin Edwards bottle. It's just one of those things. You see it, you nod your head, and you move on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what those are. Are they eye drops? I don't know.
I have no earthly idea, and I was almost afraid to ask Aaron what they were, so I just didn't. He said, make sure you go look at this item. I did. Okay. It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, so at worst, if you find a sticky snail, you'll have some way to clean it off.
This is true, and according to Aaron, they have been ethically sourced. The snails gave up the mucus willingly. I'm not sure how that works. They got a snail whisperer, probably. XCAL really expanding when you have your own snail whisperer.
Yeah.
Looking through the field, some drivers starting to come forward. We mentioned Johnny Evans now running in 5th. Kyle Martin Johnny Evans in 4th. Kyle Martin in 5th. Joe Campbell in 6th. Jeff Edgar in 7th. Latara up 6 spots into 10th. Cristiano Roca had some problems in the heats yesterday, but has came up 14 spots now to 11th.
Yeah, Cristiano, I'll tell you what, week in, week out, he has gotten a bunch better here in XCAL, and he's shown a lot of speed. Hadn't had quite the luck that he probably should have had along the way, but yeah, he's really starting to get the rhythm of the XCAL racing and yeah, showing a lot of promise.
I have to say, we've talked about it weeks past. There was that 3-way tie for the team championship just a few weeks ago. Now Fastlane at the top, J&S in 2nd. Flaming Karma currently sitting in 3rd, and Bustin' at the Seams is actually closing that gap now. How much are you watching the owner or the team points right now, Gerald?
I mean, I look at it. It was something that, we got up into the tie for first, but team-wise, we're all about the long view of this season. A lot of things happen during the course of all these races. So, when you look at that, we haven't had a bunch of luck the last 2 weeks. I mean, we've had some really fast cars and really good performances, but kind of just got, caught with our pants down there at the end and hurt us a bit. But that's why you keep the long view. I mean, you just don't base your season on the last race. You go out and take care of the one you're in and then on to the next one.
Well, Wild Bill said Kevin needs to kick it in the rear out here. As we said, Kevin Reed's XCAL debut tonight, currently running in 7th, and you gotta wonder because almost every XCAL debut this season has been a really good finish. Almost every driver has had really good luck in the XCAL debut this season. We've only seen a few that have not had a great start to their XCAL career.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jared's come out. He's run really strong. Mark came out for us there at Long Beach and had a, really strong run. We get Kevin in the car tonight. We've had some conversations with some of the other drivers, and like I said, as the season goes on, we'll continue to see what we can do to get some BRR drivers out here on Tuesday.
It's definitely going to be awesome. I have a few personal choices for that one, but the battle up front is heating back up now that Kyle Martin's in the mix with King Matthew the Bear, Johnny Evans, Ken Zeems, and Jared Mogard. Mogard so far has led the most laps. That's another one. Mogard, in his first season in XCAL, I do believe, has really come out here strong. Sounds a little nervous from time to time, but on track, man, he has been flying.
Oh Oh yeah, definitely got a bunch of speed. Definitely a strong driver and having a great rookie season. I believe right now he's trailing Lataro as far as the rookie of the year standings. But come out and put up one good night, strong performance, he can tighten that up.
Well, quick look at the Rookie of the Year standings. Lataro is out front at the moment. Jared Mogard in second. Kyle Terzak in third, but we haven't seen Kyle in a few weeks. J-Dog Seams and Kyle McRecken Martin, as well as Michael DiCarlo, likely to make up some ground in that Rookie of the Year standings here tonight. The rookie battle has been really exciting.
Oh yeah, it definitely has. I was who was in the rookie class this season, I was a little bit surprised with some of the cars that were in it. Actually, I thought Lataro might have run more than the minimum to qualify for the Rookie of the Year, but he was under that threshold. So yeah, he's out there not only competing as hard as he is for the Rookie of the Year, but also doing a heck of a job in the MVD rankings overall.
He definitely is. Laura Seams, good evening, cheering on Flying Ryan, and Earl Seams saying Long Beach was no joke. Yeah, it was a tough race, but Earl, for your XCAL debut, buddy, you did amazing. A great race there. Surprisingly, had quite a bit of action. Normally, a road course, you get a lot of spread out cars, but man, it was just non-stop battling throughout that race.
Oh yeah, and it seems like as this season goes along, the field speed is tightening up, and yeah, we're seeing a lot of guys with a lot of everybody with great speed, and given an opportunity for some of these other drivers to pop their heads up and make a surprise finish.
And I have to ask why you didn't do better in that race. We know, I know quite well you do a lot of road racing, and you do very, very well at the endurance stuff. Why weren't you in victory lane? Yeah,
I've reached an age where I realize that being out on the track is a tough deal, especially when you got the team going on. So, unless there's some specific reason I need to be in a car, I'm going to go find some better guys to be out there.
Well, I definitely know what you mean about the age thing. Let's take a quick look at the field from the HTSAI Speed Cam as the drivers go around here. Lap 78. So far, caution free. God, I hope I didn't just jinx us on that.
Yeah, I think we got some guys pitting here, don't we?
We do. Looks like Clayton Wise, Sean Andrews, Kevin Reed, Steven Seams have begun the second round of pit stops already.
Yeah, it looks like Jared Mogard went in.
Yeah, it's one of those races where just about the time everybody settles back into a rhythm together, the group that pitted first is going to hit pit road again. So sometimes you get out here in these longer races, you get into a rhythm, your brain kind of gets lulled into a sense of security, you're not giving 100%, and then suddenly something goes wrong. Race like this where by the end of the night, if it stays green, there's going to be people pitting every 5 laps, and things will get chaotic as Ken Zeems heads in. When things start getting chaotic up front, yeah, that's when things go wrong. So the drivers will be on their toes all night as Johnny Evans leads for the first time tonight.
Yeah, I think with some of these, the way the pit stops are falling out, you're exactly right about that. I think we get another pit stop or two and it stays green. You're going to see guys 5 or 10 laps separate on tires and speeds, and it could get a little bit confusing and chaotic as it goes along.
We have seen that play out more than once, especially at tracks like Southern National. When we go to Southern National, man, things get it gets really exciting. There's such a wide range of fuel strategies that play out there, and it looks like even with just 5 to 10 lap differences, here tonight in fuel strategy, it's going to play out that way again as Kyle McRicken Martin goes to the lead for the first time tonight. No surprise to see him back up out front and stretching the fuel mileage in that EHP car.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime any car EHP driver jumps in that car, you expect a lot of speed, and he's definitely shown a bunch of it tonight.
Well, he has come from 22nd to be up there. Matt Bear in second, Octavio in third, Lataro fourth, Steven Rex now up in fifth, and that fast lane team has also found some fuel strategy this season. We've seen them up leading a lot of races recently on fuel strategy, and at the end of the night, they are still in the top 5, top 10. Obviously, they are leading the team points right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely the way the season's playing out, they've definitely come in with got a really strong lineup of some of the all-time XCAL great drivers, and have been able to really put together a nice run for the team.
Definitely has been a great season for that team. Quite a turnaround from seasons past for that team. That is one of the older, more veteran teams out here. Them and the J&S Racing Aces, probably the two oldest teams on track here tonight and this season. So it's great to see both of those teams constantly up here fighting for those wins, fighting for those titles, because they are the ones that have been here since the beginning and keep it going. And then your team comes along, Nine Shiza, busting at the seams, brings out a bunch of new blood and just ramps up the excitement.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been an awesome to see XCAL, growing, the number of teams growing, the number of new drivers growing, and and some really strong competitors. So, yeah, I mean, this is the 10th race of the season, so we're a third of the way to the end of the 30 race season. So, it's going to get tight. It's going to get exciting as this season goes on. It'll be interesting to see how that team championship washes out as we get along.
And it looks like McRicken and Steven Rex are in. King Matthew the Bear, Octavio Rondoletto, Lataro Lamperti all staying out. These are the three we saw stretch that fuel run the longest on that first run, but they should be in either this lap or next. They all stay out, so likely to be coming in on the next lap, and things will definitely get exciting when things cycle back through. And speaking of cycling back through, there's a driver on fresh tires, just completed his pit stop, passing people on the high side. Kevin Reed on the attack, now up to 14th.
Yeah, definitely something you like to see. You get those fresh tires underneath you, you get them warmed up properly, and you can get out there and run some pretty hard laps.
Looks like the Mad Bear, Octavio Rondoletto, and Lataro all coming in. Depending on how quickly they get off pit road, this will either cycle back to Jared Mogard or one of those drivers.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, they're really getting some awesome fuel mileage with the speed they're carrying.
They really are. And it looks like we noticed Frank Klein had a penalty under that first pit stop. It looks like Jeff Edgar had a speeding penalty as well on this pit stop. So far tonight, 2 drivers have been caught by the speeding penalties. That's going to put them back a ways, but with all the green flag laps, if you have enough speed, you can race your way back into the lead lap or keep yourself in position to get one of those 3 wave around spots.
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of floating down through the field, and yeah, I'll tell you what, every time we have a pit stop, it seems like the lineup shuffles around a bit, so it looks like we've had some different drivers with some different issues here and there.
It definitely is playing out to be an interesting one for sure. This is one of those tracks that everybody loves coming to. It is a lot of fun, but it is a bit tricky out here at times, and we talked about the pit road entry, and we talked about loose out of turn 4, the bump in turn 2, but this whole track, it changes dramatically throughout a run. This was one of the tracks that they did the oval refresh on first, So the track changes even more now as you run on it, and it affects how the drivers have to get around. It was already a fun but tricky track to run on. Now it is even more tricky. And interesting note, I got my first win here, iRacing win here, in a truck.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever had very much luck here. I've raced it a bunch with Albie. He compares it to Richmond, but he does really well here. And then you get to Richmond, and they're a lot alike, but they're just enough different that I've just never quite gotten the line here right.
I can get the line here right, but I can't drive Richmond to save my life. To me, it's a whole different animal. I know the overall layout is different, but Richmond does have the elevation changes. You're going downhill into 1 and 2, uphill into 3 and 4, causes the car to be loose everywhere. Whereas here, you're just on pretty much the same elevation all the way around. I actually got my truck win here purely on tire strategy.
Yeah, I here a couple weeks ago ran at Richmond and actually had a pretty daggone good run there, and kind of surprised me. I've at Richmond and other places I really like, but seem to have struggled on. But with these iRacing updates, you never know when something's going to fall in your favor.
This is definitely true. We've talked about it in the past. iRacing has a tendency to do most updates on Tuesdays, and that means that depending on how long those updates happen, and some of these folks are at work during the time of the updates, they come home, they update their computer, and the only practice that they're going to get is right here in the car. And we have seen that right here in the session, rather. And we have seen that bite in the past. 2 years ago, a massive season update came out the same night we went to Texas, and the update had a small glitch that ended up knocking several drivers out of the race completely. So, update day, kind of a coin toss.
Oh, no doubt. I'm not sure if that was the race, but I do recall the update where, like, if you barely touched the wall, you got a meatball.
This was the one where if you got as you were entering pit road, if you got the car angle just at a certain angle, and it overextended the shock, it would kick you out of the session.
Oh, yeah, those are always happy.
It was entertaining, and I will have to say, that was also the night that Marty Zakawa hit a barrier on the inside wall headed to pit road. I mean, that was honestly the only time I've ever seen that done.
I've hit some things and landed in some funny spots before.
Well, I have too, but he was literally driving right and trying to carry as much speed as possible, as low as possible, right by that inside wall. There is a part coming through turn 4 down on the apron. There's a part where the wall just sticks out a little bit at a weird angle, and he came around, didn't see it, hit it head on, and ended his race.
Yeah, those are always awful. There's I can't recall which track it is, but there maybe Pocono. There's an invisible staircase up against the wall, and if you're a little bit too close to the outside wall heading to your pit stall, you'll clip that and destroy your night.
Well, looking through the field for the first time tonight, Joe Campbell has gone to the lead. Jared Mogard now slipping back by, but 2 J&S cars back out front. Johnny Evans, Ken Zeems right behind, Flying Ryan. So 3 J&S cars with Flying Ryan now in the top 5. Jimmy Johnson in 6th, McRecken in 7th, but McRecken has started blinking. Octavio in 8th, King Matthew the Bear in 9th, and J-Dog Seams currently running in 10th. As we take another quick commercial break, we'll go side by side. Don't go anywhere. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look down from the How to Suck It iRacing blimp at Iowa as the drivers go round. Tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, the Nowski Nation is back out on track. Thursday night at 7 Eastern, Home Motorsports is back as well. And immediately after, we will have the HTSAI Community Convoy. You truckers out there, come join in the fun. Sunday morning, GT3 NSS returns for more great GT3 road racing action. And Sunday evening, BRR Cup Series returns for the season finale. A champion will be crowned. Monday night, Jones BS Racing is back, and Tuesday night, XCAL returns to Milwaukee at the Milwaukee Mile to battle it out. Don't forget to check out the XCAL Racing web shop at xcalracing.com/shop. Check out the new Bustin' at the Seams hat, plus the new team gear coming soon. Tonight's event is brought to you in part by the Tri-E Inc. and the Cooler Crew. And race control equipment tonight provided by Admin Box. Use code XCAL-BOX to save 10% on all orders at www.adminbox.com. Jared Mogart, Joe Campbell still out front. Ken Zeems, Johnny Evans, and Flying Ryan rounding out the top 5. Jimmy Johnson in 6th. Kyle McRicken Martin in 7th. Octavio in 8th. King Matthew the Bear in 9th. Jason Seams in 10th. Lataro in 11th. Stephen Rex in 12th. Jose Godino in 13th. Kevin Reed in his debut race now up into 14th. John Friley in 15th, Jeff Edgar in 16th, and with no cautions so far, 16 cars on the lead lap. A couple of drivers with penalties have sent them back. Jeff Edgar, Frank Klein, both having problems, as looks like Frank Klein's and Steven Seams back in as the next round of pit stops is beginning already. Gerald, I know you went down to talk to your team. How are they feeling here tonight?
Well, I mean, a little surprised with some of the fuel mileage of some of these other guys out here running. I think speed-wise we're in good shape. I guess Cristiano got pit road penalty, so that kind of knocked him back some. But, I mean, yeah, we're kind of getting to that point where the this fuel mileage thing is going to I got a funny feeling somebody's going to. I honestly think there's some people still holding some laps, to be honest with you.
I would not be surprised. We've seen a lot of teams do that in the past. They pit before they need to and just let the race play out, because they know when it comes down to it, they will be able to conserve that fuel. As Joe Campbell pushing back up into second, but Ken Zeems has gone back to the lead. Jared Mogard now back on pit road, and the leaders are already back into lap traffic.
Yeah, this is where this is, like we were talking about earlier, these pit stops and how they string out between the 4 to 6 or 7 laps that they are is going to put a lot of people, it's going to mix a lot of the field up some.
Definitely, some of the drivers could do well with a caution. Some, a lot, are not going to want to see that caution all night long. The guys that are holding back a little bit definitely do not want to see that caution come out. It's just a lot of different and very interesting strategies playing out, even across teams, because Jared Mogard is already pitted, but Joe Campbell and Flying Ryan have been stretching it. So a lot of inter-team and on-track battles. Just a lot of mystery here in the first half of the race.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more strategy going on behind the scenes than we're picking up on right now. I think as we get to the last third of the race, you're probably going to see that play out and see who's actually got the stronger cars that got the fuel mileage and the speed, and probably saving their tires a bit better too.
That tire conservation, we saw Kevin Reed, after getting fresh tires, he was flying by quite a few cars and made his way up into the top 15. You gotta say, once those fresh tires are out, get everything you can as Joe Campbell goes back to the lead. And it seems like the tire wear just isn't that as bad as what we see some cars have here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, from what the tire numbers I've got leading up to tonight, I mean, ultimately the set that we used, I mean, to be honest with you, you could get down to, if you got to take less than, say, 2.7 gallons, it opens up a real opportunity where you can only take 2 tires because it's just the cars seem really balanced and still have been able to carry its speed.
That is definitely a plus for these drivers out here tonight, having that option in their back pocket. As Kyle Martin now up into 6th place and King Matthew the Bear, these two are 5th and 6th right now, and these two are known to work together a lot. They've been pitting at the same time. These two could be two of those drivers that are holding a little bit back. They've always got a little bit of a trick up their sleeve, especially the defending champ.
Oh, no doubt. And I think the other thing I'm seeing is Octavio and Lautaro making a point of trying to work together, be close to each other, and they've been able to carry a really good fuel run. So yeah, like I said, this thing's really shaping up to be interesting now at the end if it continues to stay green. I
will say they work together so well that during practice, I did notice they both did some tandem drifting through 1 and 2. They really do everything together.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they race together so much, and I've raced with them. I've raced down in that Roar series that they run, and, I mean, they've just got some skills that you just do not see very often.
They definitely do, as it looks like King Matthew the Bear is going back to the lead, and he is on the back bumper of Frank Klein, who had that early penalty. Klein back up into 15th as pit stop cycled through, though. Klein has got to do everything he can while he's just a lap down to keep the leaders behind, but he is at that point where he is not allowed to block or defend against them. He has just got to try and outrun them and hope for a caution.
Oh, definitely so. So, yeah, when you get down to these points in the races where you're starting to come up on cars that are more than a lap down, you hope that they're aware enough of the rules that they really can't put up a fight with you. No, they really cannot.
Matt, after winning last year, did take the new name King Matthew the Bear, so that is why we refer to him as such, and apparently, word has it, he will not speak to you if you do not call him by his new proper name. Just odd.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm following up here on that 88 and 7 car. It looks like Jeff Edgar's in a position he may end up with that decal back on his hood.
Yeah, that has been an interesting situation between Edgar and Jason Seams. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and if there's a carryover into the next season. Johnny Evans having a great race. He has only been here for a few weeks now, but has really been on fire since joining XCAL. Currently up 14 spots into 10.
Oh, yeah, really strong driver. Like I said, we were talking the last race. He really impressed that first week. Ran clean, ran strong, and ran fast, and was able to finish really well.
Yep, definitely is. It looks like King Matthew the Bear, Kyle Martin, Octavio Rondoletto, and Lataro, the only four that have not pitted yet, and it looks like, little math, I think they can go about another 2 to 3 laps here before they need to hit the pit road for fuel.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about 6 pit stops yesterday and today, and these guys may have found the formula to eliminate one of those.
Definitely could be the case. All those guys that pitted about 10, 15, 20 laps ago, they will end up having to make 6 stops. If these guys can make 5, well, that'll save them, about a minute 15 on pit road. That is huge when you're doing 26-second laps.
Oh, no doubt whatsoever. So, yeah, like I said, I think we're seeing some things shape up here now that if this thing continues to roll green, it's going to do nothing but benefit them.
Definitely, that is definitely the case. As looks like Kyle McCracken Martin is on pit road, so Matt Bear, Octavio Rondoletto, and Lataro, the last 3 to complete this pit stop cycle. We'll see how it plays out after that. We have seen these guys that stretched it a little bit. They lose a little bit of ground coming off pit road due to staying out on the old tires. And here comes Matt. But they seem to make it up late in the run. And if they don't have to make that extra pit stop, they are really, we've seen it a couple of times this season, making one less pit stop on fuel. Saves the day and can put you up there in victory lane.
Oh, no doubt. And there's obviously some drivers out here that can do it. And, yeah, it's pretty exciting to watch.
And Octavio is on his way in. Lataro stays out. Frank Klein, as of right now, has moved back up into 14th. He has got a bunch of speed. He stayed in front of the leaders and has managed to maintain and keep moving forward. He is actually gaining ground on 13th place, Jose Godino at the moment. Steven Rex in 12th. McGrecken back off pit road in 11th, and Jason Seams. J-Dog has came to XCAL and put on quite a show. The entire Seams family getting in on the act. They have really came on like a storm. That team is extremely strong.
Oh, yeah, they've just been gelling. I mean, week in, week out. I mean, and, yeah, I think once they're able to, get that all down week to week, and that consistency and knowing what to do and to show up and how to race and all that stuff, you're going to just see that team get stronger and stronger and put a lot of pressure on that team championship. So
it's definitely interesting to see their success and charging up. The way they've been able to put that team together, it's just a family. I mean, you've been building this team your team for 2 years. J&S has been 4 or 5 years now, and Fastlane as well. They have really come on extremely strong for a first-year team.
Oh yeah, and I mean, definitely. I think one of the things that's and one thing that's really helped them is because the J&S team is really in concrete. I mean, they've got their 4 drivers, and that's who they're going with and sticking with, and that works. That's their formula, and I think one of the benefits to J&S is they've been able to get guys like Noah and Alex, which are great drivers, to come in and help shore up and strengthen that team.
Definitely has been a lot of great teamwork out there, a lot of more collaboration this season than we have seen in seasons past between different teams. The teams do seem to be a little bit smaller. For instance, J&S this year has 5 to 6 cars every race, whereas last season we were looking at 10 to 12 J&S cars. So the smaller teams, but more success. It really seems to be paying off. Just having that little bit smaller team, but the best drivers you can get in it has really paid off.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Especially the way the team championship is formatted. I mean, being able to, really have a couple of aces on your team, means a lot. And like I said, I kind of built my team from. I was going to, last season was just going to run a part-time one-car deal, and by the end of the season ended up with 5 cars, and we got a 6-car team this year. But I mean, honestly, we got a core of 4 drivers, and then we've got those 2 other cars where we can bring in some rookies, bring in some new people, develop some drivers, kind of looking down the line.
Well, man, speaking of drivers that are fast, Frank Klein is back up into 14th place. We saw that car out front leading early on, went down a lap due to a pit road speeding penalty, and has fought his way back onto the lead lap. He's back in 14th, but man, what a comeback this would be for Klein here tonight. What a run he is having. He is closing the gap on Jose Godino and Steven Rex at the moment as well. What an effort. What a comeback.
Yeah, like I said, I think the different fuel mileage runs with all these cars, and I think some people are carrying more speed with a little bit less fuel run. You've got some of the drivers that can take a pretty long gear, and they're just able to carry momentum through this around this track in a way that the lower gear doesn't really help them that much.
Definitely not. And I am starting to see some of the drivers slipping a little bit out of turn 4, just a little bit of right rear slide now. Jared Mogart saw him do it. He pitted on lap 116. Track temperature still holding about 69 degrees, so not a dramatic change in temperature there. It was 67 100 laps ago. 2 degrees, not a huge change here, but the track conditions themselves, the way that iRacing now reads the rubber, sits down, more accurate to real life, the track is really changing throughout the course of the race, and you see it a lot more. Drivers changing their driving style, the lines they're taking, everything changes throughout a race. This is why the top real-world racers in NASCAR, F1, everybody come to iRacing all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's something you do in the planning, as a team owner, is you talk about, what the track going to start like, what's going to get like, and then what's going to be like at the end. And a lot of times these setups, you don't know sometimes because, you don't run the feature race until you run the feature race and have to run all the laps. So you can make calls pre-race going in with your setup that may feel great early on, but may be terrible late. And then there's also the opposite. It doesn't feel good early, but boy, you get down late and that thing starts to dig in the right way, and you can really make up some time.
You definitely can. And you got to love it when the car is settling in late in the run. That is allowing you to pick it up. It's fun to have the fast car at the start, but having the fastest car at the end of the run and picking up ground as drivers start to hit pit road yet again. Already seeing, and it looks like Frank Klein, just looking at his numbers, he had the quickest pit stop of anybody tonight. I have to wonder if he played some fuel strategy to try and make up some ground here, and if he's going to be back in early. No, he was in 7 laps ago. He is taking really short pit stops here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably a strategy. We were talking, the track's seems to be getting a little bit loose, and you can make that play where you take the shorter pit stops to kind of make up some track time or laps if you can, and in the hopes that a caution will put you back in sequence with everybody.
Yeah, that could be. We know how much some of the drivers on these teams spend calculating. I mean, Jose Godino is literally a driving calculator. Some of these drivers are just as good at that. Joe Campbell has come up with some miraculous things for that team in the past. So some of these drivers constantly plan for every single eventuality and have tested every single possibility, every strategy, and everything they can to try and make up some ground in the race.
Oh, no doubt. And I'm aware that there are, some of these teams and some of these drivers, basically Tuesday through Tuesday literally run, thousands of laps during the week, tweaking and working on their setup.
Definitely so. We're going to take another quick commercial break, folks. When we come back, we will go through the field, see where your favorite drivers are. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back next Tuesday night. Same XCAL time, same XCAL channel. We will be at the Milwaukee Mile and, flat track racing. Gerald, has your team started practicing? Because that is a whole nother animal.
Yeah, we probably got a little bit of work to deal with that track. I know last season, first time we ran it, and it's a tough place to race. It's just an odd track.
It definitely is. You can go to some of the other flat tracks and be okay. That track just races differently than anywhere else. And I have not been on it since the oval refresh. That has got to have changed the way you drive it there as well. I'll definitely be giving it a run this week just for fun. But man, that's going to be a whole different animal for the teams. And even if you have a good flat track setup, everything can go wrong, especially with the weird pit road entry.
Yeah, you got that, and the other. I mean, the two ends of the track are completely different. It's hard to nail a setup. I mean, it's sort of like you're choosing one end or over the other, and the best thing to do is to try to come out of 4, come through 3 and 4, and come out on the front stretch, to where your speed is. But that's actually kind of the worst turn to set your car up for, because it really hoses you on the other end.
It is a balancing act, and as the drivers' pit stops are back underway, I think we're at a point now where we're going to be seeing pit stops pretty much till the end of this race from here on out. But we will try and go through the field, show you where your favorite drivers are, starting with Joe Campbell back out front. Joe has been on a tear yet again this season. Started with the win at Charlotte and fought his way back to the lead here tonight, leading that J&S team, who have been in the top 5 most of the night. Jimmy Johnson currently running in second. Jimmy just part-time this season, but every time he comes out, he will be in the top 5. Fan favorite, Flying Ryan Seams, currently sits in third, waiting to make his next pit stop now, and looks like he is headed in. King Matthew the Bear now goes to the lead, followed by Octavio Rondoletto. Johnny Evans, who we've talked about a lot, he has been one of the rookies on the charge. Kyle McRicken Martin now up into 4th, with Lautaro Lamperti right behind in 5th. The Butcher has been on the attack a lot here lately. Stephen Rex now sitting in 6th, still out on track, leading that fast lane team toward the front. Jimmy Johnson on pit road in 7th. Jason Seams now in 8th. Has to carry that logo till he beats Jeff Edgar. Joe Campbell and Flying Ryan on pit road. Jared Mogard has completed his pit stop, coming out in 11th. He'll pick up some spots here in just a few moments. Ken Zeems, who has led the most laps so far here tonight, currently running in 12th. He'll make his way back toward the front. Jose Godino in 13th. Haven't talked much about Jose, except to say this: he is the human calculator, and when it comes to the end of the race, he is going to be up there. Frank Klein back in 14th. Frank got that speeding penalty earlier on in the race. Frank out there trying to earn some respect. He's been fast all night long, fought his way back up to 14th. Jeff Edgar currently in 15th. Having a quiet night. That fast lane team taking the team points and gonna hold. And Jeff said they are gonna hold on to it. John Friendly currently runs in 16th. A quiet night for him. He just completed his pit stop as well. The rookie in the field tonight, Kevin Reed, currently in 17th, having just come off pit road, has ran as high as 12th here tonight. Keep an eye on him as the race goes on. Alex Krapser back in 18th, also just having completed his pit stop. He is one of the drivers stretching the fuel here. Cristiano Roca in 19th, had that penalty earlier on, trying to fight his way back. Clayton Wise in 20th, got a speeding penalty on his recent stop. Now trying to fight his way back. Steven Seams currently runs in 13th, Steven Seams currently in 21st. He has gotten rid of the bugs, the technical issues, and is now starting to make some moves toward the front. Brandon Yates has had trouble early, just trying to hold on to it into 22nd. Brim Meckes in 23rd. Problems very early on, lap 7, just trying to make it to the end. Same with Michael DiCarlo in 24th, both of them involved in an incident not of their making, just trying to limp it to the end. Sean Andrews still sits on pit road. And Octavio Rondoletto takes the lead as pit stops cycle through. King Matthew the Bear in second, Lautaro in third, Kyle McGrecken Martin in fourth. These guys should be pitting in the next 5-ish laps. There is no way they can make it to... No, there's no way they can make it to the end on fuel, but they will only need a splash and go stop here later in the race, Gerald.
Yeah, I'm kind of sitting here with a pencil and paper writing some numbers down, and yeah, I think that if this thing continues to go green, we're going to see where these pit stops fall when we get under 45 laps to go, because I think some of these guys can either stop early and not have to take as much fuel to get to the end, maybe tires, or you're going to see some guys run it out to the end and be able to just take a splash and take off and probably roll out into the lead.
Could very well be, and there's 4 or 5 drivers there that could pull it off, that top 4 that we're still waiting to pit. But there are a few drivers as Kyle Martin gives up 4th. There are a few more drivers further back in the field that have been stretching it just a little bit further than the rest, like Johnny Evans. He's been stretching it about 2 to 4 laps further than everybody else. Same with Steven Rex. Looking back, looks like Alex Krapser has also been stretching it as Frank Klein is back in. Remember, Frank has been doing these shorter pit stops more often. We'll see if that strategy pays off.
Yeah, I think it's kind of getting down to a point now that I think the shorter pit stops may have cost him since no caution flew. But yeah, we'll see, because we've got some drivers still rolling in. The way the pit strategies, there's so many different people pitting at different times, and everybody rolls back out in a new position. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing rolls around to the end. It's starting to get tight with some of these drivers.
And I misspoke a moment ago. Jared Mogard has led the most laps tonight, not Ken Zeems. It's been close. They've been battling quite a bit throughout the night, but Mogard started out front, led a bunch of laps early on, and yeah, has just managed to make his way back to the front, repeatedly checking out from the field. Mogard currently sitting in 5th, closing the gap on Johnny Evans currently. And Lautaro still out on track. He is actually going further than Octavio now.
Yeah, they got separated there after that last pit stop. He was, 4, 5, 6 or so seconds behind. But, yeah, like I said, he could actually make that up at the end just with being able to take just a little bit less fuel than Octavio. They could end up back out together towards the front, or at the front.
Hey, some guy named Mark the Man Dantuma cheering on Flaming Karma Racing. Hopefully we'll see him back in one of those Flaming Karma cars before the end of the season. I'd like to see what he could do out here on an oval.
We may try to work on that. I know he plans to be back for the Chicago Street Course, so...
That is definitely going to be an interesting race for XCAL. I've only broadcast one race at the street circuit. It's definitely an interesting track. I've driven it a couple of times. It's weird to drive. It's hard to find a rhythm. And with this many cars out on that track, things are going to get really dicey, as certain parts of that track are extremely tight.
Oh, no doubt. I ran the XCAL preseason race, the test race we ran there, and I'll tell you what, you don't even have to particularly have a fast street setup or road course setup to carry a bunch of speed there, and so, I mean, we could actually see a lot like we saw at Long Beach, where you've got packs of cars racing together.
Well, let's take a quick look through the points. First off, the most valuable driver standings right now, King Matthew the Bear at the top, closely followed by Lautaro, Octavio, and Joe Campbell. Brent Mekas rounding out that top 5. Jared Mogard, Austin Edwards, who's only participated in a couple of races, Steven Rex, and Luke Turpin in the top 10, just winning a bunch of money here early. Of course, we looked earlier at the rookie Rookie of the Year standings with Lautaro out on top, but Mogard closing that gap quickly. Current owner standings has the 81 out on top, owned by Jason Seams. Second place, 11 car owned by Jeff Edgar. Then the 91, the 48 owned by Gerald Thanos Poole. And Danny Sargent has the 131 of Flying Ryan in fifth. And it looks like a lot of drivers starting to make up some ground in those standings. Team standings coming into this week. Jeff Edgar said last at Phoenix he was taking the team standings lead. He did so. Fastlane Motorsports on top for the first time this season. J&S in second. Flaming Karma in third. Busting at the seams, starting to charge forward. They may be in this fight in a couple weeks. And 9 Shiza Motorsports starting to make up some ground as well. This could end up with a very close team points battle by the end of the season. And finally, the Monday Night Dash for Cash, Jared Mogard at the top of that one, followed by Stephen Rex, Noah Carpenter, Brent Makis, and Jeff Edgar. If you guys want to go get some free money, hey, go sign up for that race on Monday night. You can race your way into it instead of paying the entry fee, and if you pull off the win, get yourself a little bit of money.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. If you get the opportunity, it runs at what? It starts. The session opens at 5:45. Race starts at 6. It's basically set up like one of our official heat races, and it's a fixed setup race. It's XCAL racing. Dash race, try it out. It's free entry. Come in, join. If you happen to win it, you get a free entry into the next race, and I'll help you with the setup because it's an open setup race.
Well, Jared Mogard is back to the lead. Ken Zeems in second. Joe Campbell in third. Jimmy Johnson in fourth. Flying Ryan in fifth. Looking through here, Jose Godino on pit road, Jeff Edgar, Brandon Yates also back on pit road, and some of these drivers will be able to make it from about lap 210. It's going to be a stretch. Some of these drivers will only need one more pit stop. Some will need 2. This pit strategy is coming. Whoa! Mogard just shot to the bottom of the track on the front straightaway. Not sure if there was some contact there. Didn't see any. Might have just gotten loose out of 4, but holds on to the lead.
Yeah, I think that may have been what happened to Sean early in the race when he kind of shot down. That you get on those fresh tires and they actually feel pretty good, but boy, you push them just a little bit too hard, and that car will just cut loose on you without it anyway.
Yeah, it does not take much at Iowa to get a car loose out of the turns. It definitely can make things a bit on the exciting side.
Oh yeah, I think we're getting down to it. You might see some of these drivers picking up, trying to make up some spots, so it may get a little bit shaky as we go down.
I think once we hit lap 210, we start seeing drivers making those final stops. I think that's when everybody's going to crank it up, especially these drivers who have had problems earlier and are trying to fight their way back up, and these guys like Johnny Evans who have already fought their way through the field. They are not going to be willing to give spots up very easily. Jason Seams has fought his way back into 7th, right behind King Matthew the Bear. Flying Ryan in 5th. So you got a bunch of guys who have fought their way up here or held their spot all night. And when everybody turns up the wick, man, the guys up front aren't going to give it up easy. The guys in the back, they're going to be coming for everything they've got. And like we saw at Phoenix, it can be green for a very, very, very long time, but the moment everything starts to pop off, tempers start to flare, that's when things get nuts.
Oh yeah, and I think we're starting to see that a little bit up front. it's going to be interesting to see when these how these pit stops start to fall here, because once we, like I said, once we get down inside that that 40 laps to go mark, there's going to be a pretty wide spread of pit stops and strategies, and I don't know, there's still some split strategies with some of these guys farther back that could actually work in their favor.
Yeah, those split strategies are definitely going to be the ones to watch, because they may, those are the guys that have just been quietly running as Ken Zeems tries to go back to the lead here. Those split strategies are going to be the ones that sneak up on drivers. But for the most part, you've seen the guys around you. You've been racing around them all night. Look at the crossover move by Mogard to the bottom. We've seen guys, you've been racing around mostly the same guys all night. You know what their pit strategy is. But these guys that have split that strategy up early on, they've been planning this from the beginning of the race. Those are the ones that are going to sneak up here and pull off something sneaky that nobody saw coming.
Oh, no doubt.
Flying Ryan back in fifth as the battle is on for the lead, but Ken Zeems has no help up here. Mogard has Joe. Oh, Mogard is headed in. Zeems now back to the lead. Joe Campbell in second. Jimmy Johnson in third. Flying Ryan now to fourth. Now we're starting to see that cycle through. They are about 15 laps early from making it to the end. So this is going to come down to which drivers can hold off another 15 laps. Looks like those guys like King Matthew the Bear, Octavio Rondoletto, Kyle Martin, Lataro. Some of these guys will be able to make it from 210. And then you've got guys like Johnny Evans and Ken Zeems that are going to have to, they've got the speed. They've just got to race their way up there.
Oh, yeah. Plus, I think, there's going to be some guys. Well, I mean, how far can some of these guys string it out? They may be able to get to lap 220, 225 and really jump in, take a small splash and go.
Ken Zeems now back to the front, starting to see some drivers drop in on the back straight. I'm really surprised how early some of these drivers are hitting to pit road here. Just seeing a couple of them get down before they even get to turn 3. Being on extra cautious, getting to pit road is good, but it's got to be costing some of these guys some time.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, I think especially, some of the folks that have, short pitted quite a bit during the course of the race. I mean, you really have to nail that pit stop to save yourself a bunch of time to make it worth short pitting.
Yeah, I have to wonder how many guys tried it. I've seen it in the past here in Iowa, especially with final pit stops. Guys will take it. They will wait till the last possible minute, cut it down hard, and try and get that straight line out of turn 4 down pit road, and that's where you see those problems hitting that pit road wall as Ken Zeems is headed in. Joe is going to stay out and continue to stretch his fuel mileage here.
Yeah, I think the people with the advantage right now are the ones that can stay out the longest, take the least fuel. I mean, I'm sure that at this point they've worked out, they've probably figured out that they can get away with 2 tires. So, yeah, we may see some really quick pit stops here at the end with some of these guys that can run longer.
The average pit stop tonight has been right around 43 and a half to 44 seconds. Some being longer, some being shorter, but that's going to right around the 44-second mark from the look of it. I'm betting we see some under the 20-second mark on final stops. But again, nobody can go the distance from where we are right now. They're going to have to make it another 8 laps, and once we hit that 210 mark, some of these drivers up here are going to be really, really close making it to that lap.
Yeah, this could, the standings could juggle around a whole lot. especially with all these pit stops that are going to be happening. They're strung out pretty far between each other now. Yeah, somebody makes a slight mistake trying to get in too quick, and next thing you know, we're looking at a yellow.
Definitely going to get interesting. We're going to take our final commercial break. Don't go anywhere, folks. When we come back, we'll take you to the finish. Stick around, everybody. All right, folks, we are back, and Gerald and I just sitting here doing math, and there may be a few drivers here that are gonna pull off some sneaky moves. We're thinking that some of these drivers that came in after lap 205, like Joe Campbell, like Jason Seams, we're thinking some of these drivers have been sandbagging all night long and may be able to go to the end here. Things are about to get really interesting, and there may be a few drivers sneaking their way to the front. There may be a few drivers going a little slow to conserve that extra lap.
Oh yeah, I think we're getting inside of a window now that as these pit stops start falling, and they're really strung out at this point. You can pull some sneaky stuff to get away with one stop and making it to the end and still carrying some speed to be up front.
Jared Mogard pitted on lap 195, Ken Zeems 200, Jose Godino 185, Jason Seams on 203, and Joe Campbell on 205, Flying Ryan on 205, Jimmy Johnson 204. There's and Stephen Rex on 209. There's gonna be some guys that just conserve, just get out of the gas a little earlier, get on the gas a little later, conserve that one extra lap, and come up here be in the top 10 right there at the end. Pat Bear, Octavio Rondoletto, Kyle McRacken Martin, and Latarl Lamperti, those guys still have not been in for their final stop, so they'll be able to stretch, come in, get minimal fuel, and take off again. Those four we know are going to be up there in the top 10 somewhere. The rest of this, anybody's guess.
Oh, no doubt. I think that I really think that they can shorten if they can string it out 4 or 5 more laps, or can stop it somewhere right in this time period, I think that they can actually make it to the end.
Well, there's going to be a few. Kyle Martin is in. He'll be able to go to the end from here, but I think we'll see a few drivers do a splash and go. We'll see some right sides only. We're going to see some interesting strategies playing out here, and a few drivers surprising us. Kevin Reed now up into 15th. He'll have to make a splash and go, as will Jeff Edgar. John Friley will also need one. It looks like Frank Klein, his little strategy may end up paying off here. He's back in 17th. He's going to be really, really close, but he might be able to go.
Yeah, he's got some laps to make up with the strategy he ran, but yeah, he may, if he can, string it out to the end, some of these other guys going to stop. He's going to make up some, laps at a time.
Yeah, it's from about 10th place on back. It's a crapshoot. Everybody from 10th place on back, other than like Ryan Ryan and Joe Campbell, I think those guys outside the top 10. Everything is going to change from 10th on back before this thing is over. But that top 10 right now, man, we know who the top 5 is likely going to be, but everybody else, who knows?
Yeah, because, you could take a lot of options, as we get inside this window now. Obviously, there's some there's some cars out there that need to stop. It just depends on what lap they do and how much fuel they're going to have to take, because if you can get it down to where you only have to take 5 gallons, that's a big time advantage on that last stop.
Octavio Rondoleno, despite the fuel conservation, has caught up to King Matthew the Bear. Those are the only 2 drivers left on the lead lap, and we've seen it getting dicey as some of these guys start to make their way forward. There was a big group up there by the leaders, but here they go. Matt Bear, Octavio are in. That'll be their final stop. Jared Mogart likely going to cycle back around here. Will he get back up to the lead is the question. And
it's going to be interesting.
He'll still need a splash.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how long their pit stops are. They're right on each other, so, there's some fuel stuff going on, I'm sure.
Octavio is in. Matt Bear is in. Unfortunately, Sean Andrews still sitting on pit road, was not able to get that car repaired and back out. Just over 25 laps to go here at Iowa, and it has been caution-free so far. And remember, folks, at 10 to go, there will be no more cautions. And this will be, I think, the second race this season. Started last season, we had our first green to checker race with no caution, and now it's becoming more and more common here.
Oh, yeah, on these bigger tracks, the real dangerous points are starts and restarts, and if you come out with a clean start at the beginning of the race and it starts to spread out, and then the lost strategy starts to play in like we're seeing tonight, they can be exciting races that just run green to green from the start to the finish.
Starting to also see a few drivers heading in for their splash. Jeff Edgar is on pit road. Looking to see who else. Cristiano Roca currently in. Kevin Reed has completed his splash and go. Jose Godino completing his splash and go as well. Matt Bear and Octavio Rondoleno came off pit road first and second again, and their pit stops Matt Bear's 32.8, Octavio's 33.4. They will not need to stop again either, so these two also have a 5 and a quarter second lead on Mogart as Mogart is in.
Yep, I think that's what we're going to run into now as some of these guys have some real fuel issues, and yeah, they're going to rear their head.
Ken Zeems pitted on lap 200, likely going to have to do a splash and go, or if he can stretch that fuel window far enough, we could see him slowing down dramatically. Jason Zeems in 4th place now, pitted on lap 203. Kyle McRecken Martin pitted lap 215. He can go the distance, currently sitting in 5th. Joe Campbell, we believe, can go the distance, as well as Flying Ryan in 6th and 7th. Jimmy Johnson on the cusp in 8th. Lataro can make it in 9th, and Stephen Rex in 10th can also go the distance. Ken Zeems gives up 3rd. The funny thing with Matt Bear and Octavio Rondoletto is, as of right now, those two are nose to tail. Jason Zeems now in 3rd, 8.3 seconds back. Those top two have conserved fuel and been fast all night.
Yeah, I mean, we talked during the last break that there was going to be, we thought, definitely 2 or 3 guys that could do it, and I think that's what we're seeing play out right now, because I'm thinking there's a lot of the guys that are going to have to hope for a caution. But now we get down to that 10-lap barrier where there's no cautions. It could, really ruin some nights.
Octavio's also going to have some help when that battle comes down at the end, because he'll have Lataro right there with him. Lataro just losing his lap in 8th place, but now he will be there with Octavio, and those two are going to work together, and how well they work together. It'll be fun to watch those two try and find a way around King Matthew the Bear.
Oh, no doubt, and like I said, he's also one of the guys that's definitely going to make it to the end now, because he's got one less lap to have to run. So, like I said, I think this thing is far from over. I think there's some guys praying for a caution before we get to that 10 laps to go.
I think with 22 laps to go, my fingers are crossed that this thing stays green and we see what everybody has and how everything plays out. And I also believe if Jason Zeems can stay in 3rd, hold on and make it to the end, I believe that'll be his first podium finish in XCAL competition. So great job by the Zeems team tonight.
Oh, no doubt. Like I said, they've been coming together, and they got some, obviously he's got Matt Bear out there on his team, and when you get these types of finishes, that's what really helps you in that team championship.
Yep, having the defending champ out there really helps out the team overall, even though he's not running a full-time schedule. Having that car up there winning races is definitely a huge, huge advantage.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Kyle Martin back in 4th, has Joe Campbell in 5th. We believe Joe can go the distance, and he is closing the gap on McRecken. Now 6 and a quarter seconds back. He's got Flying Ryan, Jimmy Johnson right there with him. There's about a 3-car battle going on right there. Well, not really a battle. Joe and Ryan will work together. Jimmy's not going to push that issue until the final lap. And Jared Mogard really, really needs that caution here. He had a 21-second pit stop after leading the most laps. Mogard is now back in 10th.
Yeah, that's we were talking earlier about that fuel mileage. We saw those a lot of those drivers having to come out pretty early, ahead of that 40-lap barrier to eliminate that pit stop. And now we're seeing kind of the product of that. You have the speed, and it's just one of those nights it goes green and you get caught in the deal.
I was a track that we usually see cautions early and then a long green flag run. We had 2 incidents early in the race, and then it's been clean ever since. Both incidents cleared the racing surface. No need for a caution, so we'll see what they can do here at the end. And in 6 more laps, it will be officially green start to finish.
Yeah, we're getting down to it. I think, like I said, I think there's some pit stops still to be had. I think there's some drivers that are still going to have to end up stopping. They're just hoping for that yellow flag before we get down to 10 to go.
I think we even have a few in the top 10 that are going to be very, very close. Like we said, Jason Seams will be close. Joe Campbell and Flying Ryan we're pretty sure can make it. Same with Jimmy Johnson. But all of those drivers are kind of right there on the cusp of whether or not they can make it. If they can stay in the draft, Joe's got lap cars ahead he can utilize. He's got his team right behind him. So if they can stay in the draft and just conserve a little bit of fuel, they will be able to make it. Jason Seams, unfortunately, right there on the cusp and has no drafting help. He does have Steven Seams in 21st, not far ahead, and will be able to get in there as Frank Klein is in. This is unexpected. I really thought he was going to be able to make that strategy work at the end.
Yeah, I think just the culmination of all the short stops that he was making, got to a point where it finally just caught up with him. The caution didn't fly, and he couldn't take advantage of any of it.
Definitely seems to be the case. Kevin Reed in his rookie race, currently running in 16th and gaining ground on 15th place. John Friley could still see Kevin finish with it. Jason Seams is in, gives up 3rd. Wow.
Yeah, I think some of these fuel mileage things we saw really early in the race on the pit stops and how it all got staggered out. I think there's more victims to come.
It could very well be, and some of these drivers back here, we're talking about Kevin Reed in his rookie race, he might still pick up a few spots before the night is out with this fuel game playing out right now.
Oh yeah, we're getting down to, here we go. 10 laps to go, so there's not going to be a caution.
As long as they make it to the line here, they will hear Aaron Hillebush in the control booth. Green, green, green. There will not be a caution tonight in Iowa. They still can be penalized for anything that violates the rules in this final 10 laps. It is not a free-for-all. But they will not have a caution so that they can finish the race under green.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's going to get. I think these two are going to race it out here at the end. I think they've got enough fuel. They're not worried about anything. I think there's some guys behind that are probably going to have to stop or start slowing down to be able to try to make it. So that may cause a little chaos going down to the end. But right now, everybody seems to be trying to get there as hard as they can.
And the interesting thing is Octavio looks for the lead here across the start-finish line. So Octavio and Matt have had problems in the past. They've had words, a lot of tit for tat in interviews, so this could get heated at the end of the race. We keep assuming that these will be the top 2, but if it gets bumpy here late in the race, they may not be.
Oh yeah, they've got some space behind them, so they may not care. We'll see.
And we see these two bang doors in the final laps. They're running side by side. Octavio hoping he can get a run down on the bottom, but Matt has the high line and is able to kind of get the momentum out of the turns. Octavio using every bit of the track, though, and Octavio was leading at the line that time. And what was the quote? It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Oh, there's no doubt. And these two guys are definitely, they're racing clean. I mean, from what I can see, unless somebody pushes it a little too hard and loses it, these guys are going to go down to the end like this.
Nothing new to see these two battle as we get 5 to go. Nothing new seeing these two battles side by side. You got to give them credit. Both of them are giving each other space. Octavio gets the run out of 2, but Bear gets the momentum off the high line and pulls back up. And it just... And every time I think Octavio might be able to pull a little bit of a gap, Matt is able to pull the momentum off the high side. This is going to come down to, unless this lap traffic comes into it, and I do believe the lap traffic ahead will come into play.
Yeah, it is going to get more exciting.
And we are coming down 3 laps to go here in Iowa. There's lap traffic. They are moving low. But now Octavio's in the middle. There's contact. Joe Campbell pulls up in front of Octavio. Now he's in the middle 3 wide. Jason Seams on the bottom. Holy
my goodness.
crap.
They're not giving each other nothing.
Oh my goodness. Wow, you gotta give the drivers credit. That was really skillful.
Yeah, I got to give those drivers a ton of credit because I'll tell you what, they held their own and held their lines, and these guys were able to, do their thing and get through them.
Well, they were 4 wide at one point. Now it is a duel to the end. They will come into a little bit more lap traffic, but white flag is in the air one more time around at Iowa. They battled all night. Green, green, green all night long. No cautions. They played fuel strategy and seen who was fastest. Now it's going to come down to who comes and gets the better exit out of turn 4. Matt trying to keep Octavio pinched down. There's contact. A lot of contact, and Octavio pulls off the win. Backwards.
Wow.
Matt Bear came home in second. McRacken finishes in third. Flying Ryan in fourth, and Joe Campbell in fifth. Wow, what a fight there at the end. See if we can get one last look at that final lap coming out of turn 2. Down the back straightaway, Matt had the run. Matt tries to move down the track and keep Octavio pushed down. Octavio pushes up. They get into each other. They get into the outside wall. Matt come down, got him, but not before Octavio got across the line. Not.
Yep, that was, whew, I'll tell you what, that was something.
I guarantee you these two are going to have words about each other at the end tonight. Like we said, as the laps wound down, these two have had interactions in the past.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt it's going to be an exciting post-race evening for this team owner.
It definitely will be, but your team got to victory lane, and the disparity, because pretty much every team, let me check something, but it looks like every single team had somebody in the top 5. Well, J&S had him up there. Flaming Karma has one in victory lane. Matt Bear in second for busting at the seams.
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge of a bunch of stuff.
And McRacken for EHP. And speaking of McRacken, let's see if we can get a word with the third place driver. McRacken, pretty quiet night, just charging from 22nd up to 3rd.
Yeah, the gas can definitely could have used some more gas. I'm out of gas, and I coasted around for that last lap to get to 3rd here and the start finish line again. So I was cutting it quite close. I think Austin gave me the wrong math, and he didn't put the extra fuel line in my car this week. So couldn't beat him from last week, but it was quite the race. Out to the 91 there. When he runs me like he's going to run me, don't expect me to go punt him down in the next corner. So everyone found that out in JBSRL last night. So he can find that out too.
Well, great job tonight, buddy. Any team or sponsors you'd like to?
Yeah, I gotta give a big old shout out to Warlord Laps and Eddie for making this beautiful highlighter pink color car. Gotta thank Austin Edwards for the beautiful setup, EHP Racing, all the guys back there, Kendra for helping out on the setup too. Gotta thank good old XCAL Web Shop for sponsoring our event, Flaming Karma Replays, and the admin box, and of course you, Doug, for broadcasting this beautiful event.
Well, great job tonight, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
King Matthew the Bear, you guys battled side by side for 8 laps, and I have to say, I thought you two would end up in the wall when you came through all the lap traffic, but it came down to the very last turn.
Yeah, I mean, if it had been up to him, we would have been in the wall right there, but I wasn't going to allow him to do it. I knew what he was trying to do. I did it to him earlier this year. I mean, it's racing. What can you do? Great race. Can't complain overall. Had pretty good speed. I really don't know what I had. I didn't really run hard there till the end. I was kind of just playing fish with everybody out there and see when they wanted to bite and ride with them there for a little while. I mean, I think we had a good car. The results say we did. But yeah, I mean, just got to give a big shout out to Flaming Karma Paint Shop, Butt Kicker, Tri-E Cooler Crew, Sim Racer Hub, How to Suck It Eye Racing, and Admin Box for helping putting this thing on every week, and the XCAL Web Shop. But I mean, overall, good points today. We gained some points on a bunch of cars. I mean, the only person we lost points to was a 48 at this point. So I mean, you got to live with that and learn, move on, and don't let it happen again next time.
Well, man, that was a great job. I have to say, some of the best racing we've ever seen the last 10 laps. Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it was a good shout out to Octavio right there. I ain't going to sit here and whine and complain like he did whenever I doored him into the fence, but good job. But now we're even, so let's go back to racing.
All right, buddy. Great job.
Have a good one.
And finally, from the XCAL Racing Web Shop, Victory Lane, Octavio Rondoletto. Octavio, man, that race, especially that last 10 laps, was extremely exciting.
Hi, Doug. Hi, everybody. Thanks to the people for watching the race. And yes, that was a hell of an end of the race. Did you like the 4Y?
Yes. I think Gerald may have had to go outside and take up smoking because that was so close. You guys coming through lap traffic and still managing to hold on. And man, there was just that last 10 laps was one heck of a battle.
Yes, I was almost running out of fuel. And I had to save fuel behind Matt all the stint. And with 10 laps to go, green, I said, I have to push. I tried in the outside. I knew there was a lot of graining in the outside, so I tried to go in the inside. And I knew the inside is the worst line, so I tried a slide job in the end. That was not the best slide job in motorsports, but it works. Anyways, I'm sorry for Matt for the contact, but I remember that happened before with him, and I was in the outside, so this was my time, and yeah, we had a win. I'm sad for Lautaro because he had that contact. I don't know exactly what happened. We have to see it again, but well, it's a great result for the team, for us, and a green flag race, all the racing green flags, and that's great.
Definitely was, man. A great win tonight, Octavio. Anybody you'd like to thank, buddy?
First, XCAL for everything. My team, Roar Esports, my spotter Gregorio, and my teammate Lautaro. Flaming Karma because they do a great job planning the race. To Gerald, obviously. You for the amazing broadcast every week, and for the people that is watching the race, that support the league, the sponsors, everybody.
Well, man, congratulations. You definitely earned that one tonight. Great win, Octavio.
Thank you so much, and see you next week.
See you next week.
See you.
Well, that was a final 10 laps we will not forget anytime soon, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Wow, I need a break. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Don't forget, come back tomorrow night. More great racing at 9 Eastern, and next Tuesday we're at the Milwaukee Mile. You're not going to want to miss out on any of it. Thank you guys so much. Hope everybody had as much fun as I did. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and the YouTube. Thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.